And just take a couple of deep breaths. And on the exhales, you can sigh it out if that feels natural. If the body's asking for a loud sigh, then do that. And just feel into what the body needs. Sighing is a really great direct way to regulate the nervous system. So if you feel like sighing, it's because the body is telling you, my nervous system needs to be regulated. Nice little hack you can do at any point in the day. Now let's bring our attention to the pelvis, specifically the sit bones, the part of the pelvis that's making contact with the ground. And feel the weight of the body moving down through those points of contact. So we're really tuning into the sense of groundedness and stability. Like we actually feel the earth holding us, the earth supporting us. Feel into that and trust that. Trust it's there. It's always there. So that we can allow this downward moving energy to happen through the pelvis. So maybe scanning around the pelvis and notice if there's any tension that's holding you back from relaxing down into the support. So maybe in the lower back, in the front of the hips, or all around the hips. Notice if there's any tension there. Relaxing from the inside out. And then relax again. Relaxing the upper legs, the thighs, all the way down to the feet. Also feeling the points of contact that the legs and the feet are making with the ground or with whatever you're sitting on, with the chair. And then finding a straight spine, so moving the attention up along the torso, bringing the shoulders over the hips, and the ears over the shoulders. So we're drawing the chin back and down a little bit to spread the base of the skull. So that you can have this continuous central channel, unobstructed, moving from the base of the pelvis, behind the navel, through the rib cage, through the center of the heart, through the throat, behind the eyes, and out through the center of the head. And bring the tip of the tongue to where the back of the teeth and the roof of the mouth meet. Relaxing the rest of the tongue down to the bottom of the mouth so that the tongue isn't touching the roof of the mouth. Only the tip is touching where the back of the teeth and the roof of the mouth meet. Relaxing the rest of the tongue down to the bottom of the mouth. Relaxing all the way down to the root of the tongue. So see if you can bring your awareness there, down to the root of the tongue, and release any tension there. We often, without noticing, hold a lot of tension in the throat, in the soft palate. There's a purpose to that tension, but right now we don't need it. Gently begin to tone the vocal cords. So we'll just do a few rounds of Ujjayi breathing. And we'll use the Ujjayi technique of toning the vocal cords to help us lengthen the breath and deepen the breath. So it's that action you make in the throat when you whisper, a gentle tone in the vocal cords. Doesn't have to be as intense as when you're practicing asana. It can be gentle, and maybe you hear small sounds. Bring the awareness, bring your attention to the sound of the breath, to the movements of the breath as you lengthen and deepen the breath. We'll move into an even inhale and exhale, and I'll allow you to stay at your own pace throughout these practices, these breathing practices that we do. So begin to match the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. And if it's useful for you, you can count so that you know it's the same length. So maybe you count to 4 for the inhale, and then you also count to 4 for the exhale. And as we breathe, we're going to use the whole torso to breathe. So the balanced breath. On your next inhale, you'll start filling up from the bottom to the top. So as you inhale, fill the lower belly, and then filling the middle part of the torso, filling the lower ribs, and then keep filling up. The rib cage expands, the chest expands. So you're filling up all the way to the clavicle bones. And then as you exhale, reverse that process, emptying from top to bottom. So you contract from the chest, the rib cage, and finally emptying from the lower belly. And so you can visualize this process as you inhale, filling from the bottom to the top until you're fully expanded, full of breath. Settle into this fullness. And then as you exhale, emptying from the top to the bottom, and feel the body gently contracting from the top, the chest, the rib cage, the lower belly, completely emptying. Embrace this emptiness. And so as we use our Ujjayi breath, we're allowing the breath to lengthen and deepen, but allow this process of filling and emptying and the body expanding and contracting, allowing that to be an organic process. So allowing the body to fill in every single part of the torso as the breath moves in and asks for that space. And then organically emptying and the body contracting back towards the center. And just notice the body asking for that as you gradually, slowly empty of breath. Good. Then for the last few rounds of this, you have the option of introducing a gentle hold, a gentle retention between the inhales and the exhales. And it can be any length. Again, you can count. It can be 2 counts between the inhale and between the inhales and the exhales, at the top and at the bottom. It can be 2 counts. It can be 4 counts. It can be the same length as the inhale and the exhale, or it can be shorter. So you're just taking this moment in between the inhales and the exhales to appreciate the in-between moment, to appreciate and to embrace the fullness, and to appreciate and embrace the emptiness. Allowing this process to unfold organically. Observing the breath in the container of the body. Observe the energy moving, rising and falling. And just take about 1 more round. And gently, gradually begin to release the technique. So we're going to stay in this seated position with the eyes closed or half open. Just gently release the technique. Release the retentions. Release any intentional manipulations of the body or of the breath. Release the tone in the vocal cords. Allow the breath to be natural. Allow the breath to be exactly as it is. Simply stepping back in awareness in that wide open space of awareness to watch the breath. To observe this space without judgment, without assessment, without technique. Let's bring our attention to the heart space. Dropping your attention, feeling into the center of the heart space. Notice the breath moving in and out of this space. Maybe tuning into a spaciousness here, a sense of limitless space that extends even beyond the limits of the body. Feeling into that space. And hold here for a moment. Someone that's super easy for you to love, or something. It can be a pet. And maybe allowing your heart space to feel the suffering that this person or pet has a tendency towards. Just feel into that for a moment. As you inhale, feel into the suffering of this person. A way that you've noticed that this person or pet or animal suffers. And then as you exhale, feel a sense of warmth and nurturing embrace. Feel that sense of warmth and love move out towards that person or pet. Take a couple more breaths like this. As you inhale, feel into the suffering of that person or animal. And as you exhale, send them some love. Feel a sense of warmth and safety and love move out towards that person. Now I'll do the same with someone who's not so easy to love. Someone who maybe you've had an argument with or who's hurt you. It can be a small hurt. Depends on what you have the capacity for in this moment. Breathing in a way in which you've noticed that they suffer, a tendency they have. Feel the sensations. What does that bring up for you? Allow the sensation of whatever that brings up to fully move through the space of the heart. As you exhale, as much as you're able to in this moment, send them out a sense of warmth, compassion, The space of the heart expanding and opening. And now we'll do that one more time with ourselves. And depending on what you're going through, this may be the easiest or the hardest person. Hold yourself in the center of your heart. Hold one way in which you suffer. So feel into that suffering, a tendency that you might have. Just brings up uncomfortable feelings. A suffering that isn't so easy to feel, but it's part of your experience. So allow the sensations of these kinds of experiences to spread out into the space of the heart, fully opening yourself to these sensations. As you exhale, sending yourself love, warmth, compassion. Same way you sent it out to that person that's super easy to love. Find that ease in loving yourself. Feel the warmth that lives deep in the space of the heart. Allow it to move and find expression. If you'd like, you can repeat after me. May I be happy. Repeat quietly to yourself. May I be safe. May I find my way. May I know peace. May I experience love all the time. Let's bring the palms to heart center, and we'll just finish this portion with an Om. Take a deep breath in.